We have officially reached the halfway point here in Leicester, Massachusetts, about an hour west of the city of Boston. It's playoff time, MVP Open, presented by OTB. Brian Earhart, Nate Perkins here. Tournament Central once again recapping the FPO division. Haley King tied with Evelina Salonen for first place. Haley did end up catching Evelina. She did not say that she was satisfied with her play. Nate, talk about what you noticed and what you saw out there from Haley.
Well, I was actually slightly surprised to hear her say that because she really stuck to that game plan. I think she missed some early opportunities to score, but she still found herself under par on the front nine. She had already caught up with Evelina at that point, and she really only missed a couple of opportunities from shallow circle 2 here. Here she is on hole 8. Same disc as yesterday, a little bit more wind, just kind of commits to that width. Off the base right there, that's money.
It just felt like a solid day on the disc golf course. It was 20 to 30 mile an hour gusts at certain points. The wind was swirling. Evelina Salonen, and you'll hear this in a bit, mentioned that she almost forgot how to read wind because of how unpredictable it was. And for Haley to say, I'm not satisfied with the 3 under, which is one of the better rounds of the day, means that tomorrow, if we have conditions to score, she's going to take more opportunities. She looked really frustrated when I was interviewing her. It looked like she wanted to get out of there, go home, and get ready for the next day, which, again, for the field is not great. I mean, she has a lot more golf to play. 2 more rounds, she's in the lead, and she doesn't like how she's playing. It almost sounds to me like how Kristen acts when she's winning by 4, 5, 6 strokes sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, Haley's made the least amount of big mistakes out of anybody in the field. Just 1 tree kick away yesterday from a bogey-free round, and same deal on 12 today. She misses that tree, she gets up and down, and she's bogey-free. So she's looked clean. I don't think it's going to be any windier than it was today. We are expecting a bit of that hurricane to come through, so it's going to be wet tomorrow. But I think she's through the more difficult day that we're going to have this weekend.
Well, chasing right behind her, well, not necessarily chasing anymore, tied with her at the top, Evelina Salonen. We actually talked to Evelina after her round. Let's take a listen before we reflect. Joined here in the clubhouse, now your co-leader, Evelina Salonen, 1 under par. Really windy out there early on in the day. Are you happy, disappointed with the 1 under? How do you feel?
I'm happy how I finished, but I had little bit slow start and it was hard to wait that first birdie.
It feels like when the wind picks up this strong on this course, it's hard to read it in any situation. What is your approach to playing this course when it's this windy?
I don't know, I just said to Kristen that I don't know how to read winds anymore because I thought a couple times that it's tailwind and it was headwind, so it's really tough here.
On hole number 13, you hit a great putt for par, and on the next tee pad, you turned to me and said it was an accident. It was a beautiful looking putt. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, it was good putt, and I think it was my first C2 putt in a while. So
was it a layup that went in? Why was it an accident?
No, I was running it, but I didn't believe that I can do it.
Well, you are now tied for the lead with Haley King. She made up a couple of strokes on you. Anything different that you're going to do tomorrow? It seems like the weather might get a little sour tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow, but I want better start than today.
Perfect. Well, good luck tomorrow, Evelina. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
The way that Evelina talks so often reminds me of what Kristen was saying back at the World Championships in Vermont. She's just here to witness what's about to unfold. She always says things like, we'll see. I don't really care what happened. I'm ready to see what's happening next. When she threw that putt in on 13, she acted like she had no control over the disc going in the basket. She was so pleased to watch that putt go in. The crowd loved it. It was a very intentional looking putt. She has been absolutely mashing these distance drivers. I mean, on hole number 11, going down the hill, 12, got down the hill again.
Wow.
She's throwing the disc phenomenally well. And Nate, the putter is still working.
No, the putter's working. There was that one stretch, 8, 9, and 10. She missed circle putts on 8 and 9, and then her first 3 putt of the weekend there on hole 10 to net her the bogey. But then she bounces back with a putt like that. And I know she said that she wasn't making it, but that one there on 17, that was full intention right there. It says a lot about where she's at to miss the putt 3 times in a row in the middle of the round, and then to find your line once again and jam it into the headwind there on 17. She's a contender again, Brian. She's not going anywhere, tied at the top.
Well, there's so many times that we've seen, looking at the stats throughout the year, if she just went 50% from circle one on the weekend, she'd be winning these tournaments. And right now, she's putting fantastic. She's tied for the lead. Not a surprise there. Maybe what is a surprise is that Kristen is now chasing with two rounds remaining. It doesn't seem preposterous to have her in technically second place, but behind Haley and Evelina, but we don't see her here too often.
No, we certainly don't. And if you would have told the fans and told Kristen that, hey, you're going to be averaging over 10-20 through 2 rounds, but you're not going to be winning, that would be a shock to everybody. And that's exactly the case here, Brian. She's 5 under par is actually one of her highest rated rounds of the year today in the wind, and she's still not in the lead. And we were able to talk to her, Brian. You actually asked her about specifically that is it fun? Is it fun to be chasing? Because we want to know, like, does it get boring for you out there when you're just like stomping the field? And we actually heard from Kristen, and it was a good interview. And let's take a listen now.
Joined in the clubhouse now, just a stroke off the lead in third place. Kristen Tattar, 5 under in the crazy wind conditions. How satisfied do you feel?
Very satisfied with the score. I think my throwing was not so good as it was yesterday, but I didn't miss any short putts, so that made it a lot better on the scorecard.
Well, I was just talking with Evelina, who said that she doesn't know how to read wind anymore when it's crazy like this out here at Maple Hill. How do you feel like you did reading the wind today compared to yesterday?
I think I did pretty well. I feel like for a couple of holes, I don't really have the right disc or something is off, especially the downhill hole 13. Might be because the wind is also like swirly and you never know which way it's coming from. So yeah, sometimes it was hard to read, but I would say that mostly I did a good job.
When it swirls like that and it's this strong, do you really just have to make a good guess off the tee pad? How do you actually execute?
A safe bet would be just go with a more stable disc, and I don't know. To my benefit, I have the forehand and the backhand, so I can choose between them. But yeah, typically just take a stable disc, and it's a foolproof plan.
Well, on 16, you hit a beautiful circle 2 putt from the edge. The crowd went nuts for it. Can you kind of paint the picture of what it looked like from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a solid drive, and then I got up there. And I was almost circle's edge, a little bit outside the circle, and I was like, wow, there's so many bushes. Why did they not clean it up? And like all these like negative thoughts coming into my head. And then I was like, stop it. This is the situation. Just make the most out of it and make your best effort. And it went in magically. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was a spectacular putt, and going into the final day, you birdie 18, good momentum. You're just a stroke off the lead now. Does it kind of feel exciting to be chasing down the leader rather than just leading right away?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been enjoying playing here. I think it's more like a fun course. I feel like it requires a lot of skill, but also some luck. So yeah, it's different. I feel like here. So we had a great card today. I love playing with all the girls, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds tomorrow.
Well, fantastic, Kristen. Good luck. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Well, Kristen is 1 stroke back of your leaders in Salonen and King. Should be interesting to see her on the prowl going into the 3rd day. Don't go anywhere too long. On the other side of this commercial break, we have MPO to begin, and we will give you the insights going into this day.
Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Down.
What a shot by Simon. What a veteran play by Simon. Beautiful putt. Great putt. I'm blown away.
Champion at the Great Lakes Open, Simon Lizotte.
Billy Rossini and I go back to 2007, I believe. Billy was one of the guys that was actually sponsored in Charlotte by Innova. He said, hey, here's my product, and I was already in. All the scoring that we do in our sport now is all digital. Having some sort of backup power source is gonna be really important. We feel that it's good quality product. And having the stash pack that holds the cable that connects to any device, it just works. It's not just my business partner, it's my friend. And so that's why this thing really works for me.
Join the Paul Macbeth Foundation's Builders Club to help bring sustainable disc golf experiences to people and communities around the world. For a small monthly donation, you can help us make a real impact. Your donation will go directly to making a difference. By becoming a monthly subscriber, you'll also receive exclusive updates on our work, special offers, and discounts. So join us today and make a difference with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Together we can make a big impact, one small donation at a time.
Matteo, just how hard is bogey free to accomplish at Maple Hill?
Enough that I believe I ain't never done it before. It's so tricky. Every hole's got its own little character. Any little bit can happen, a little wind, little anything. So I didn't even know I went bogey free, but hey, feel pretty good. I just try to take what the course can give me. I quit trying to park all those holes and just try to put them in play, get my 35, 40 footer on some of them. It's okay on those. So I'm just trying to use my brain for once on those holes. I ain't gonna lie. I just try to tell myself to treat every day as a normal day because that's the best I can do. That's the only thing that makes me me. It's when I put the inside pressure on me, I ain't gonna have that no more. So I'm just gonna try to be me and make it as normal as possible.
You changing your game plan up at all?
Maybe hole 3. That's it. I've been just trying to flip it over to the right. I might get a little more aggressive on that one, just a hair, and then just gonna try to stick to do the same thing. Just gonna put it in play. I'm gonna run the ball first and then pass if I have to, you know.
Matt Orm very honest with the fact that he's changing his game plan and playing more aggressive at a course where a lot of players are saying, I have to give a lot more of these holes respect. Do you agree with the choice to get a little bit more aggressive on 3 and try to get a little checkup at the end?
Yeah, I love how specific Matteo was with that answer. You know, I think that the front 9 kind of forces you to throw one specific line, and especially that menacing hole 3. Here he is putting on hole 7, actually. But yeah, what a round yesterday from Matt. Just letting his putter do the work. Looks like the shades are fitting a little better yesterday, Brian.
Yeah, I think the thing with Matt is he just has to keep that same wavelength the entire weekend. Like he was saying, I got to just use my brain and play golf for once. And that's him maybe giving the rest of the course some respect and then feeling confident enough on 3 to get aggressive. And I think thinking that way out here is fantastic. That means he's very confident in making that adjustment. And look at this putt on 15. This is just classic Matteo pandering to the crowd, just fantastic downhill jump putt. And he heats up on this back 9. If he can just get the front together, he's going to be shooting phenomenal golf, but easier said than done on the front 9 with today being as gusty as it is.
Yeah, and Matteo is actually leading this year in bogey-free rounds at Elite Series events. I believe this is his 12th bogey-free round, and yeah, he kept it clean out there. And that stretch 11 through 13 right there to get those 3 in a row. He played 14 safe, actually, just laid that one up. And then, of course, we just saw that 50-footer there on 15. And then the up and down for the drop-in par on 18. He's feeling good. The question remains, does he have that mental block? What is keeping a guy who finishes so consistently in the top 10 from winning one of these events, Brian?
It's the same question we have to ask Ben Callaway. Ben's put himself in position so many times. He got second place at Jonesboro earlier in the year. We've seen him almost take down victories at the Dynamic Disc Open. And Ben has been around a long time. He is one of the veterans on Team Discraft, still here. He's been on the team over a decade. This is I believe, a 2011 amateur national champion, still on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in his mid-30s. in better shape than ever as an athlete. He says he feels phenomenal on this course, but when is he going to break through and take down a victory?
And, for some people, a win here is not life-changing, but for someone like Ben Callaway, that is life-changing. I really do feel like that it keeps your dream alive. It allows a company to say, okay, we do want to continue to invest in your future. We feel like you're going to be a great ambassador for us. You're now a Pro Tour champion. I feel like maybe that weight, ironically, is what kind of keeps you from just like playing free out there, not worrying about what the win really means and just throwing the disc.
Well, he's been very open in years past about the pressures of being on the Disc Golf Pro Tour and not being home all the time with his child and his wife and living that steady day-to-day life. He has to be out here on the tour trying to get that first big victory to take everything to the next level. I think Ben has everything it takes to take it to the next level and take down a victory here, which would be historic for him, and I think historic for everyone who's trying to live a dream out here on the tour. We did talk to Ben after his round yesterday. Let's hear what he had to say.
Would you be surprised to learn that you're leading the tournament here at Maple Hill?
Yeah, I would say I'm a little surprised by it. I mean, I knew I was shooting well, but I didn't know exactly how well. I let my caddy just kind of do his thing and, not tell me any of the scores, because sometimes I can look at my phone and I don't really want to do that. So he just took my phone away from me and, he did his job, did his due diligence. So, yeah. Wow, that's crazy, though.
8 down, it's a pretty solid round. I want to hear about the front half of the course. Like, break down how difficult it really is, that stretch of par 3s from hole 2 through hole 8. Talk about those holes.
Yeah, I mean, they're very difficult, very demanding tee shots. If you hit early, it can be very difficult to get up and down for the par. So once you get through that stretch, you feel kind of like a little sigh of relief. The back half of the course plays a little easier. Still tough. You need to hit your lines. Still need to make your putts, obviously. But, yeah, I was just very fortunate to throw enough good shots through those very tight wooded lines and, make some solid putts. These last few tournaments actually haven't been as confident as I would like to have been. The middle stretch of the year was very good for me, doing some really good things with golf, but these last 3 tournaments were kind of, they weren't really good. I think I missed 2 events in the cash. But coming into this event, I felt, very confident. I usually play very well here at Maple Hill. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. It's probably just because we finally get to throw some mid-ranges and some fairway drivers, and that's great. So, but coming into this tournament, yeah, I feel very confident.
Well, right behind Ben Callaway and Matt Oram is Kevin Jones. And Nate, you followed Kevin quite a bit yesterday. You watched him play. What did you see from him out there? And is what he did yesterday sustainable?
It's certainly sustainable. I mean, like I said yesterday, Brian, Kevin is one of those athletes who will look you in the eye and he'll tell you, hey, I've got it this week. Like, I know where my disc is going. And to the contrary, he'll look at you and go, I have no idea where this backhand drive is going to go. And he's just honest. And he looked at me and he said, I'm going to play well this week. And that's just all there is to it. And when he says that, he knows exactly what he's capable of. He's been trending in the right direction ever since we're taking a look at him a few months back at Deglow. He's been trending in the right direction. His performance at Worlds was underwhelming considering the finishes that he had leading up to it. The high level of golf, this roller up the hill at Deglow, masterful stuff. And why I think that Kevin's 7 under is sustainable, Brian, is because he's doing it with the putter. He just continues to be one of the top 5 putters in the world, especially from deep in Circle 2. He just has the confidence, and this course, especially this front 9 with all these treacherous greens, when the wind is up, putting from outside the circle really comes into play.
We did talk to Kevin Jones after his 7 under first effort. Let's hear what he had to say.
It was perfect weather today, so we started off with that. It's also nice because we're cruising through the course. There's 12-minute gaps between each card, so you're really able to find a groove. And today I just felt pretty good all around. Like, the putt felt good, and even more importantly, like, my drives are feeling on. So it made it really fun today. I snuck in some extra jump putts, and that really solidified my round. The front nine's really important, and I've struggled on it in past. I don't know what my all-time statistics are, but anything can happen. Even if you are on out there on the front nine, doesn't guarantee you anything. So it's all about managing with what you got. taking what you get given to you and then just trying to get a good score out of it.
Yeah, talk about that back nine and how you were getting some of those putts to drop that 65-footer on 13 and then that diamond shot on 14 over the water that nearly dropped in.
Yeah, 14's a tough hole because it's just right there on that water line, so you have to get really aggressive. And I wasn't trying to, but the wind dropped my disc, and so that's like an extra birdie for me. The great play there is just to chip it way left and then chip up, take your 3. But I got lucky, parked that one, and got the birdie on 16 also, which was a huge boost.
Well, joining Kevin, Callaway, and Orem on the lead card is going to be Bradley Williams from Texas. Nate, you have played some golf with Bradley Williams. Can you talk about him just as a player in general? He seems to be kind of a spectator favorite of people trying to learn how to throw the backhand shot.
Yeah, he's got one of the smoothest forms on the tour still to this day. I mean, he's in his mid-30s, and look at him there at D-Glow, dropping one in from distance. And yeah, Bradley's he's a past champion here. I mean, he won the very first Disc Golf Pro Tour here in 2016, and he did something last year that no one thought he could do. He won an Elite Series event at a course that's open. It's not in the woods. It doesn't necessarily play to his strengths on paper. So I feel like Bradley's a contender everywhere he goes, and especially with the experience that he has here at Maple. This is his 10th trip up here to the Northeast, Brian. So take a look at the scorecard from yesterday, just the one bogey there on hole 7, and they've backed that tee pad up this year, Brian. So the gap is a little later in the flight, and if you're offline, you could be OB left or just in a trench of trees over there on the right. So the one bogey there on 7, that's a pretty clean day.
And with that said, we're taking a commercial break here on the Disc Golf Network. But on the other side, we have to talk Eagle McMahon. The bird is the word.
PDG Event Support Helpline.
Hey, so I'm setting up the most epic event of all time, and I'm wondering, do I need insurance?
As long as the event's in the US or Canada, insurance is included with your sanctioning agreement.
Okay, awesome, because we're trying this cool new thing where we have an alligator pit on the 18th green. It's gonna be epic.
Insurance or not, I don't think having literal death putts is a good idea.
Okay, I'll consider it.
Oh, no, boy, no! Are you still there? Oh God, are you still there?
With a smooth, clean shave, every day is a clean slate. So who cares if you put all your money in crypto and called your boss an idiot? Barbasol. It's a can of can-do.
Oh man, I'm down by 2 with 2 holes to go. It's the hole 8 island. I need this birdie. I need this. Should I use my last 2 driving chips? Or should I save them for the final tee shot? Or maybe I'll just use one now. Maybe I need to save one for the next drive.
Time delay, dude. That's a courtesy violation.
That's a stroke. You're down by 3 now, potty mouth.
And welcome back. You are watching Tournament Central here on the Disc Golf Network. The MVP Open is happening this week on DGN, and if you're not already subscribed, you can subscribe today and use the code Tournament Central, all one word, at checkout for a free month subscription to the Disc Golf Network. Just scan the QR code or hit the link in the YouTube description to subscribe today to watch the rest of the disc golf season live as it unfolds. So much disc golf left to play, including the United States Women's Disc Golf Championship in Burlington, North Carolina. Over 300 competitors from all sorts of divisions and a brand new course in Burlington. I'm joined here by PDGA's Hayden Henry. Hayden, talk to us about the major coming up.
Yeah, registration closed last night, so we have 347 players, a record for the U.S. Women's Tournament, over 24 divisions. and the guaranteed purse of at least 6 figures, which will continue to grow before that's finalized next week. So just incredible stuff. It'll be live on the Disc Golf Network. Your usual Jomez and Ace Run post-production companies. The PGA is bringing 2 more companies to provide additional coverage, not just of FPO, but of the other divisions throughout the field. So just an incredible week on tap after an incredible weekend that we're going to finish here at Maple Hill.
Well, Hayden, we have to talk about this week here at Maple Hill. Obviously, windy conditions out there this morning. What did you take in from the action?
Yeah, that wind is swirling, and it's one of those situations where it's hot and cold at the same time. If you're in the sun, it's a little warm. If you're in the shade, it's cooling off. But looking at the scores today from the MPO, they're heating up, and only 3 players were not tied with someone else yesterday after round 1, so that just shows you how tight the scores are. Obviously, at the top, Matteo, what an incredible thing to see. It was hilarious when you told him that he went bogey-free here, and he said, oh, never done that before. So, and then Bradley Williams, just a little note, I saw he put it on Instagram. He went for the green on 18 because he knew his position, was trying to get that lead card bonus as well, and knew that he had the PGA number tiebreaker over Eagle to get on that lead card. So just incredible stuff. The beginning of the end of the season, but it's going to be an incredible month.
Well, with that, Bradley Williams did end up tying Eagle McMahon and getting the PDGA number bump, but Eagle McMahon is in the hunt 2 strokes off the lead. We heard from Eagle after his day yesterday. Let's take a listen now.
I definitely earned my 6 under. Made, I think, 4 or 5 outside the circle putts, a few really good saves. So luckily the putter was on today, which definitely helped get to that 600 mark. We didn't have virtually any wind up until hole 8. After hole 8, it seemed to be a wind out of the north, and a few of the holes definitely made it more difficult, but a majority we were playing with a tailwind, so it actually gave us a little bit of distance. And of course on the putting green, definitely you thought twice when you're throwing putts. I actually feel really good right now. I opted for a day off after PEI and practice on Tuesday, and actually didn't get to practice Maple yesterday, but made the most out of my time, hit the gym, and freshened up going into this round. And I felt like I had a ton of energy, and it doesn't feel like I'm at the end of the season right now. I feel jazzed and ready to go.
With the latest UDisc rankings that they have you the number 1 player in the world, what are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
Go. Well, Eagle, very short-worded when it comes to his world ranking on UDisc. He likes it. I think there's a lot of people in the disc golf world who also like it. Nate, I want to ask you on your opinion. I mean, now we have multiple sources kind of coming up with their own algorithms for what constitutes who's number 1 in the world at the moment. What do you think Eagle, or where do you think Eagle sits in your personal opinion?
I feel like the weight of Prince Edward Island tournament at Discmania Open, I feel like it might not have included the strength of the field as much. And so to put Eagle at that number 1 spot because of the 3rd place finish at Worlds and then first at Discmania Open, it's hard to really say that he's a better player than Calvin or Isaac. So I feel like I still have to put Calvin Heimberg at the number 1 spot. I have to put Isaac Robinson at that number 2 spot, but Eagle could win any tournament that he signs up for.
Well, I think the reasoning for potentially why he's sitting where he's sitting is the consistency. Ever since he DNF'd at the Portland Open, he's gotten no worse than 4th place. You can't say the same for Isaac Robinson, who obviously has had a historic season, 2 major championships after graduating college just last year and going on the road. But Eagle's been rock solid. And I mean, in every category, he looks like one of the best players in the world. And we can speculate this all we want, but the man we were just talking about, Calvin Heimberg, on a tear. 5 under par through 6 holes right now, and this is the stretch of the course that many players were not grabbing birdies on. Nate, what do you think?
Well, I think that you could play Maple Hill 20 times in a row and never string together 5 on the front 9. I mean, he parred hole 1 and then got holes 2 through 6. A couple of those are totally bonus birdies, Brian. So triple yesterday on 14 seemed to take Calvin out of it, but he's putting himself back in it with his play on the front, and that's a wrap here for Tournament Central from Brian Earhart and Nate Perkins. We're going to get back out there to that MPO action.